Most people live their lives trapped in a cycle of deferred satisfaction, constantly telling themselves that they will finally be happy once they reach the next milestone. Whether it is a promotion, a new relationship, or a specific bank balance, we treat happiness as a distant destination that remains perpetually out of reach, a mirage shimmering on the horizon of our own conscious desires. This phenomenon, known as hedonic adaptation, ensures that even when we achieve our goals, the initial spike of pleasure quickly fades, and our brain resets to a baseline state of neutral longing. We find ourselves running faster and harder, not toward true fulfillment, but away from an underlying sense of emptiness we refuse to confront, fearing the silence that might emerge if we stopped. This structural error in our thinking turns life into a waiting room where we sacrifice our present reality for an imagined future that, even when attained, never delivers the lasting peace we were promised, leaving us perpetually waiting for our lives to truly begin, trapped in a loop. We convince ourselves that the next achievement will be the one to finally silence the noise, but the goalpost shifts the moment we arrive, rendering our previous efforts feel hollow and insufficient. It is a treadmill of ambition where the speed increases, yet we remain firmly in place, exhausted by the effort of maintaining a pace that yields no genuine progress toward inner peace. Our internal narrative is dominated by the when and the if, creating a psychological divide between the person we are today and the idealized version of ourselves we hope to eventually become. This constant postponement of joy creates a chronic state of dissatisfaction that colors every waking hour, turning our daily experiences into mere hurdles to be cleared rather than moments to be lived. We treat our current circumstances as an unfortunate delay, a temporary inconvenience on the grand journey. Yet, this temporary delay stretches into years, consuming the very time we intended to enjoy later. The irony is that we are building a foundation of anxiety while searching for a home. We ignore the textures of our present lives, blinded by the golden hue of future accomplishments. Every milestone reached brings only a fleeting moment of relief before the next hunger takes hold. It is a hunger that cannot be satisfied by external validation, status, or material wealth alone. We are chasing shadows, hoping they will provide the substance we lack within our own souls. The brain, wired for survival rather than contentment, keeps us perpetually dissatisfied to ensure we move. But in the modern world, this evolutionary trait becomes a cage, locking us in a cycle. We are running away from the void, yet the void is carried within our own minds. The more we run, the more we solidify the belief that peace is somewhere else entirely. We lose the ability to see the beauty in the mundane, the grace in the struggle. Our focus is narrowed to the finish line, missing the entire landscape of our own existence. This is the tragedy of the deferred life, a life spent waiting for the curtain rise. The script is written by our anxieties, and we are merely actors playing out the scenes. We fear that if we stop, we will have to face the truth of our emptiness. So we keep moving, keep striving, keep hoping that the next thing will finally be enough. But enough is a moving target, a phantom that retreats as we advance toward its light. We are architects of our own discontent, building towers of expectation that inevitably crumble under weight. The weight of the future is too heavy to carry while trying to walk the path. We stumble, we fall, and we blame the path instead of our heavy, misplaced mental burdens. The cycle continues day after day, year after year, until we forget how to simply exist. We have become experts at waiting, but novices at living, lost in the halls of anticipation. The promise of happiness is a contract we signed with ourselves, but the terms are rigged. We pay with our presence and receive only the currency of future, unfulfilled, and hollow dreams. It is time to recognize the pattern for what it is, a trick of the mind. The destination we seek is a ghost, a story we tell to keep the fear away. But the fear is not the enemy. The avoidance of the fear is the real trap. We must confront the emptiness, not by filling it with more, but by sitting with it. Only then can we begin to dismantle the waiting room and step into the real world. The life we are waiting for is happening right now, in the breath we just took, It is in the quiet moments we ignore, the struggles we try to bypass, the connections. We are already at the destination, but we are too busy looking ahead to notice it. The myth of the destination is the greatest barrier to the peace we so desperately crave. It keeps us small, keeps us hungry, and keeps us forever reaching for the unreachable stars. Let us stop the race and look around at the ground beneath our own tired feet. The path is not a means to an end. The path is the entire point itself. We have been looking through the wrong end of the telescope, magnifying the distance between us. The distance is an illusion created by our own desire to be somewhere other than here. Once we let go of the need to be elsewhere, we find ourselves finally at home. The waiting ends when we realize that we have always been exactly where we belong. Leaving the waiting room behind, the path to genuine contentment requires a fundamental and deep reframe. We must shift from the pursuit of fleeting pleasure toward the cultivation of a flourishing life. This ancient concept of eudaimonia asks us to find meaning beyond the simple acquisition of things. Instead of asking what we need to acquire to feel okay, we must change our perspective. We must ask how we want to show up in the present moment, regardless of circumstances. By taking full responsibility for our attention and our responses, we reclaim our inner mental space. We stop outsourcing our peace to external conditions that we ultimately cannot control or fully predict. This transition involves catching our recurring "I will be happy" when thoughts before they take root. It demands the deliberate practice of intentional presence in the small, quiet moments of our days. We begin investing deeply in meaningful relationships and the quiet power of our own personal agency. When we stop viewing our current life as an obstacle to happiness, the walls begin falling. We start recognizing our daily reality as the very material of our existence and our purpose. The desperate chase for a distant finish line finally begins to lose its tight, suffocating grip. We realize that peace was never hidden at some future point waiting for us to arrive. It was always available in the way we walked the path all along the winding way. True contentment is not a trophy to be won, but a way of being in life. It is found in the breath we take right now rather than the one we anticipate. We stop measuring our worth by milestones and start measuring it by our own internal integrity. The horizon is no longer a barrier, but a reminder of the vastness of our potential. Every step taken with awareness becomes a destination in itself, rich with meaning and joy. We shed the heavy armor of expectation that once shielded us from the reality of now. The emptiness we once ran from is replaced by the fullness of our own conscious presence. We are no longer waiting for our lives to begin because we are finally living them. The cycle of deferred satisfaction breaks, allowing us to breathe in the air of the present. We find that the destination was merely a ghost, a mirage created by our own desire. The path itself is the reward, unfolding beneath our feet with every choice we make today. We choose to show up fully, with eyes wide open to the beauty of the mundane. This is the art of living, where the journey and the arrival are one and same. We are the architects of our own peace, building it from the stones of our reality. No longer chasing shadows, we stand firmly in the light of our own authentic present experience. The texture of an ordinary Tuesday becomes far more vibrant than the promise of a Friday. We learn to sit with difficult emotions without the frantic need to fix them immediately. Feeling bad for a moment no longer signals that our entire life plan has failed. A particular kind of freedom emerges, one that is easy to miss if we aren't looking. It is the freedom of no longer requiring the world to cooperate for our inner peace. We still work and build, but the wanting stops being a desperate, hollow condition. Contentment that does not depend on circumstance is not the same thing as mere resignation. It is the profound recognition that we were never actually one achievement away from peace. We were simply one shift in perspective away from finding it all along the way. Once you have felt that shift, you cannot fully unknow the truth of your existence. You start catching yourself mid-chase, gently interrupting the pattern because you finally understand the game. Practice starts today by noticing every time you think or say, "I will be happy when." Awareness alone begins to loosen the grip that these future-focused sentences have on your mind. Ask yourself how you want to show up in this exact circumstance, even for 30 seconds. This simple question rewires where you look for your sense of okayness and personal worth. Practice one moment of presence daily, whether it is during a coffee or a quiet walk. Invest in what truly matters: your relationships, your sense of meaning, and your daily agency. Happiness was never at the finish line, it was in how you walked the whole time.